Hi, I'm Silvana. I'm a DevOps engineer. I am excited to introduce my new website, Silvana's DevOps blog. My website is definitely for you if you work with technologies including AWS, Kubernetes, GitHub Actions, Terraform, and the serverless framework. This includes a treasure trove of DevOps content which I've developed over the past year. I've been experimenting a lot with Kubernetes, and I'd like to introduce you to a set of tutorials I've shaped as part of a Kubernetes adventure. The purpose of this isn't to explain what Kubernetes is. There's already a lot of content out there about that. What I've done is consider a cradle to grave approach where you can learn to appreciate the very beginnings of a Kubernetes project and can get down to some nitty-gritty hands-on experience from the get-go. The first section of the adventure is called Provision a Fast API Hello World application in Minikube. This involves setting up a very simple Hello World application using the Fast API framework. You can learn to set up a virtual environment locally to run the application before containerizing the application with Docker. The tutorial guides you through working with standard vanilla Kubernetes manifests before providing guidance on how to work with Helm for simply provisioning a collection of manifests to a Kubernetes cluster. The next section of the adventure provides a deep dive of working with the kube-prometheus-stack and provisioning this in Minikube. If you're not already aware of this particular Helm chart, it provides a very popular solution for provisioning Prometheus, along with Grafana, the Prometheus Alert Manager, and other useful components. I learned so much as I put this together and have consolidated a lot of information in one place so you can really get to know the stack. In the last section of the Kubernetes adventure, we provision an Amazon Elastic Kubernetes cluster. We bring forth knowledge from the prior sections. We provision a fast API Hello World application and also a Prometheus related stack. This time round, the Helm chart I've chosen to experiment with is KubeCost. My understanding is that KubeCost is built on top of OpenCost, an open source project to provide real-time cost monitoring for Kubernetes workloads. So that was the Kubernetes adventure section of my website. I'd also like to introduce the Fruit project. When I first created my website, it was born out of the idea of creating a fun DevOps portfolio piece, a website celebrating fruit. Phase 1 for my Fruit project includes some foundational work. This is captured in a Fruit project DevOps tutorial. The project comprises of some GitHub action pipelines with reusable workflows. It leverages using Terraform and the serverless framework for provisioning infrastructure in AWS. As part of the project, a Python web scraping application is provisioned as an AWS Lambda. That is invoked as part of an ETL extract transform load workflow orchestrated by an AWS step function state machine. Data is scraped from different endpoints and is transformed by the same Lambda before it is uploaded into tables in Amazon DynamoDB. Finally, I'd like to share some DevOps blog articles. Really, a lot of this has grown from shaping their tutorials. Here are some articles I'd like to highlight. Exploring GitHub deployment environments and approval gates is interesting, particularly where you want to nail governance over different environments for your GitHub Actions pipelines. I present 2 ways in which you can set up approval gates within your pipeline. The classic approach involves setting up deployment protection rules and spinning up a new runner following approval so you can deploy to a target environment. In an alternative approach, you can be more explicit in setting up an approval gate, and you can persist a GitHub action runner following an approval. This means the logical flow for your workload in the pipeline can easily continue without spinning up a new runner and reinstalling software to do what you need to do. I further explored this approach in another article, a novel approach to working with Terraform in GitHub Action pipelines. Another highlight is formulating a tagging strategy for Docker images pushed to Amazon ECR and Docker Hub. This provides a deep dive into understanding how images can be tagged, pushed to these repositories, and also how the images appear in user interfaces. I've included some links to some of these resources. I would love to know what everyone thinks of the website. I'd feel honoured by those who help share this round. If you feel any of this information is useful to you, then please consider helping support me on Buy Me a Coffee. Your support means the world and it helps give me lots of encouragement to keep the website going. So now we're at the end. Thank you for watching.